All right, we're going to get started very soon. We're just going to wait a couple minutes. What's going on, Jordana? How are you? Good. All right, we'll start very soon. I'm just, hey, Green, how are you?
Hi. Good.
Good. May delay just for a little bit, just so we can have some other people come in. We'll be recording, and I'm trying to broadcast this to Facebook as well. And I will be sharing my screen. So Facebook's not comprehending, so that's why I have the recording button going. Okay, so let's start off with a couple wins. So Corrine, how are things going with you? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Let's start off with a quick win. I'll ask Jordana later too, and then maybe we'll have a couple other people kind of chime in. I can hear you, Corrine, now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my headache came back this morning, so I think I might have an ear infection. Maybe.
You might have an ear infection?
Yeah, so maybe that might have been cause of my headaches. We'll see.
Where's your headache right now?
Over here.
Okay, gotcha. How are you doing with like trying to see if like chin tucks or range of motion? Remember the stuff?
I've been doing that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, Jordana, unmute yourself. How are we doing today? Doing good?
I'm doing okay. A little bit tired, but we had storms and stuff last night. So
Is it a long day of work for you?
It was a tiring day. Just a couple of rough phone calls, but.
Oh yeah. So I always say to myself, because I had that same type of issue where rough phone calls or clients that are disgruntled, those kind of things, it's like you got to realize that it's just part of your job, right? It shouldn't be like, it shouldn't extend beyond your job, that kind of thing. So you're just doing your job to make money, and you might enjoy your job, but don't let that carry over into like your family time and beyond your shift. I get in the habit of that too, because I'm a very emotional, passionate person for like what I do. So if clients are getting results, I'm pretty mad at myself at times, those kind of things. Yeah. Cool. So you got Shauna in here, Rebecca. What's going on, Rebecca? How's your day?
Oh, I am VV stressed.
Because of your bar, you said?
Because of finals, and I literally just got news saying that the Supreme Court will not be deciding whether we have our bar exam or not until the 30th. So it's another whole freaking week I have to wait to find out.
Got it. Any wins for you? Working on your breathing still?
Now I know how to breathe correctly, which is great.
Great. Good. So hopefully, eventually, long term, right? If you're not feeling the effects right away, then look towards the other exercises, shoulder stuff. Hopefully you looked at all the videos and are aware of like what are the options for you. So breathing, biggest one for me, because I told you guys like to bias certain things. Like the biggest one that I do every day for the past 10 years, like long time, foam rolling. I just foam roll my upper back every day as maintenance, regardless if I'm having pain or no pain. Foam rolling every single day. So literally actually, like from here to here.
I have a question, because that foam rolling hella hurts. Like, how do I not make it hurt?
You have a long one or a short one?
I have a long one.
Okay. Well, try to, because if you lift your butt up really high, you're putting more pressure against the foam roll, correct? So if you just sit down and just drag your butt across the floor, there's more distribution of the weight on your butt, right? And then a little bit less distribution of the weight on your back. That's pretty much, it's all weight distribution. And that's how I felt when I started. That's how majority of people feel when they first start. Your body will get used to it. Okay. If I put my thumb literally, I don't know what's a painful area. Let's say I put my thumb right into like the divot, like there's like a sensitive area, a lot of nerves. If I just did that for like a long time, it would hurt like crazy if I just put my thumb into your shoulder like that. But after a minute, your body will get used to it, because that's what happens. It numbs it out. There's just pressure receptors. Your body gets used to it. That's why the foam roll is so effective, because it feels like pain. It feels kind of threatening. And then after you keep doing it, it feels like it's actually loosening things up. So it's a consistency. Like don't just do one and then the next time you do it, it's like 2 weeks later. You got to do it consistently. All right, Shauna, how are we doing? Let's see if I can unmute you. And then we're going to get started with our, I'll share my screen and then we'll talk about the ergonomics.
Oh, you can't really see me. I'm doing good. I was in the middle of a kickboxing class when I realized that it was 4 o'clock.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries.
I'm about halfway through it.
That's good. I assume your win is just getting active. Seems like you're sweating and everything. That's good.
Just a little bit. I can't get the lighting. There we go. Now you can see me.
Yeah,
definitely sweating, but yeah, trying to keep myself active and sane.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Any wins for this week? How are you feeling?
Movements are feeling pretty good. Like I kind of talked to you about, my hip flexors have been pretty sore, just I think from sitting so much. So trying to really like actively stretch those a lot. Like as I'm sitting down, I'll like kind of do a stretch and things like that. Okay. But yeah, so doing pretty good this week. I also had a student send me like the sweetest message today that made me cry. And
oh no, that's awesome. That's great.
A good one. Yeah, just telling me how much like she missed me and loved seeing my videos and stuff like that. So
awesome. Awesome. Cool. All right, let's get things moving. So pretty excited for today. Same thing as movement assessments. I think that people appreciate like when a PT like evaluates movement. So I think that Mondays always good to start off with a bang. I think Wednesdays are equally as important, especially if you are somebody that either whether you're desk bound or whether you get onto your laptop or your phone a lot. Still very important that you understand why your sitting position is so important. I'm going to say this though. I mean, the more important thing than just your desk ergonomic assessment is movement itself. So if you can have the perfect assessment, the perfect setup, the most comfy chairs, right? All the ergonomic stuff needed. But if you're not moving, it's not going to do anything anyways, right? So ergonomics is secondary to the movements that you apply to your body, right? On a daily basis or an hourly basis, okay? But there are ways to comfort your body by changing your desk setup and modifying things, all right? So we'll go in order. And I think the first thing that we have is, well, we have myself. So I'm going to share my screen. And then whoever I call in, if you don't mind turning on your video and then your speaker, that way it can actually be shown on the recording and we can post this later because Facebook's not responding very well. So let's go ahead and get in Rebecca. Rebecca seems to be the first person. Mind you turning on your video again? Hola.
Hello.
Okay. All right, cool. So you guys can see my screen? Okay, see the Facebook screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before we get into anything, okay, I want to understand that if, quick announcement, you know, Thursday is our momentum call. So Thursday is going to be making sure that you guys carry that momentum going forward after the 5 days. The Thursday call, I'm going to bias a lot of strength and exercises. So you've been interested in how I always bias strength over stretching actually, how strength applies to long-term pain relief. Go ahead and register for that Thursday call. And the Friday graduation workshop, okay? It's like the biggest one. So the 50-minute workshop, okay? Make sure that you go to this events tab, right? Make sure that you go to this Friday graduation workshop and make sure to register right here, okay? I will post that the link right now. So if you haven't registered yet, I don't know why you haven't registered yet. So let me throw this into the chat right now, okay? Just make sure while we're on that. So there's the Zoom call right there, okay? So that's the Friday workshop. And let's go into it. So Rebecca, let's evaluate, especially because you're studying a lot. So probably pretty important that we look at your sitting. And so let's go into here. So beautiful pants, very festive, okay? All right, so we have a couple things. So there's an extra monitor right there. I was wondering what that was. So I was looking at that when you first posted it.
Oh, this is just taking up space on my desk. I should really get rid of it.
Yeah, probably can get rid of it. A lot of times there's a lot of correlation with increased stress with the organization of your desk, right? So even if we change nothing about like your chair or your laptop, having a disorganized desk that's like all over the place actually gets you stressed out. even if you don't feel that way. So a lot of times if you clean up your desk and it seems cleaner, that actually relieves stress, and that can actually relieve neck pain. Looking at this, so we can see, yes, that you are a person that crosses your legs, cross them all in between. So crisscross applesauce. So what that potentially can do is that when you cross your legs like that, what happens is, can you guys see my cursor too? Rebecca, can you see the cursor? Perfect. So when you see the cursor, so when you cross your legs, immediately your pelvis rounds backwards. And then when the pelvis rounds backwards, you're forced to arch your back a little bit more, at least your lower back, okay? So in essence, it's really hard when you're crossing your legs to actually use the backrest, right? So if you're like an edge of seat seater, right? What happens is, like, if you're not using the backrest or you're not like bending backwards over it or not actually using it, is that these muscles within your shoulder blades as well as your shoulders, they're turned on the entire time, okay? So head position's not bad. Like, you actually seem like you're not like squinting forward. That looks pretty good. But you see like your whole posture is forward inclinated, right? Mm-hmm. So therefore, like, your head does have to work a little bit harder just with that little bit of gravity going forward. And that's because it starts off with the legs too. So your feet were on the floor. Right? If your feet were on the floor, maybe it's because the floor is cold. I always look at like wooden floors too, like feet are cold. So therefore you want to like wrap that under. You can essentially like put on some slippers. You want to sit in a position so that you can put your feet on the floor flat. And then if anything, if you feel like you're too short or something, what you could do is you could put a towel. You could roll up a towel or a yoga mat, and you could put that right like where the bra strap would be. So like right where the mid back right there. And you can actually use that to kind of lie back. Your shoulder blades get to rest against like the yoga mat or whatever you put behind you. And it actually alleviates your shoulders. Your shoulders incur less stress while you're studying. Okay, and if the shoulders less stressed, right, then the neck's less stressed. Okay, make sense, Rebecca, so far?
Yeah.
Okay, other things, because you're looking straight down the entire time, so you can see your eyes have to peer down the entire time. Okay, that can potentially be an issue long term, especially if you're just starting off your job, right, and you're going to be on laptops all the time. Mm-hmm. So the ideal thing is when maybe I can go to mine from here. So you can see here that for mine, I have my laptop right here, but it's never on, right? So I've actually just gotten this monitor from my wife's cousin, and you can see my eyes are in line. Like if anything, the top of the monitor is about an inch or two above the level of my eye, okay? Because if you're looking down, guess what you're doing? If you're looking down, then your head's constantly this way, right? And it's just gravity. You want to put your spine, you want to put your spinal column right on top of each other. Even just this little inclination, I can feel that my spine has to work a little bit harder, but 8 hours of that, like, it's not tiring now, but 8 hours of doing this can be tiring. Okay, so it's an endurance game when it comes to sitting. So if possible, like, yeah, I got this monitor for free. You can get monitors easily for like 50, 60 bucks on Facebook Marketplace, or you can get a good monitor. Ghetto, I have a Nike box to like elevate it, so it is above the level of my eye. And yeah, so you can see that I'm completely rested. You can see that too, right? Because my feet are on the floor. I'm completely using the chair rest, right? But with you not using the chair rest, so meaning you're using more muscle than you need, right? And then your feet are not on the floor, eye level, right? You want the top of the monitor to be eye level. Is the best way for ergonomics. Okay.
What about arms?
Arms look pretty good. Your arms actually look pretty fine. Like, I would see, one other thing that I looked at is like you see how your knees are touching the desktop, right? Yeah. So because your knees are touching the desktop, it's really hard for you to scoot under. So you're actually farther away than where you would want to be. You can actually sit down, put those legs underneath, sit closer to your monitor, and therefore your arms don't have to be as extended forward, right? Then that's less stress on your shoulders. Your shoulders don't get as tired. Therefore, again, your neck doesn't get as tired, okay? Because the shoulder blades connect directly to the neck.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Right? Okay, so like, look at your knee. It's stopping you from going under, right? You can potentially, because you might be flexible with your legs, you might be able to wrap that under. But ideally, again, feet on the floor. Okay, maybe grab a large monitor so you don't have to squint. Okay, the monitor height should be eye level or like 1 inch above. Okay, and then you want to be a little bit closer. Hopefully that chair can be a little bit closer, like underneath the desk. All right. Cool. Any questions about that? I want to make sure because I'm going in order. So like, take the time out to ask questions right now.
No, I'm good. That's really good. I'm gonna go buy a monitor now.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how much money you have, so like Facebook Marketplace, cheap ones. Go on Facebook, ask friends, just put a post out. Anybody got a monitor that they're not using? That works out very well if you have a lot of friends and you're popular. If you're not popular, you're screwed, right? Okay, so that cool? Helpful?
Yes, very.
Awesome. So I prefer for you to use that backrest, get that legs under, monitor, right? Monitor height. Get that chair a little bit closer, maybe like 2 to 3 inches closer, and then you're good. You should feel better. Most importantly, what is more important than ergonomics? It's the movement, right? Like I said, the movement, moving, breathing, okay, bending backwards, okay? If you're still leaning forward because you're not, if it lack of height, put a yoga mat or put a bath towel on the small of your back, okay? Cool. Awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Shanna just posted hers. All right, Shanna, you're going last because you just posted it. All right, Jordana, let's do it. So Jordana, open up your, yeah, so got a couple comments with yours. Okay, so is this your normal workstation?
This is my work from home station. At work, I have a yoga ball I sit on at my cubicle.
Okay. And then are you usually, you said you're usually sitting in weird positions, or not weird, but just like leg underneath kind of thing?
Yeah, well, my leg's underneath, and I'm sitting at the same table right now, and like I'm diagonal to the table. So, and I don't know if it's just so I can see more, or that's just how I'm comfortable. Like right now, I've got my legs on another chair.
Gotcha.
Too. So.
Is your I want to ask, is your pain more left or right sided, or it's your right side, right? I forget.
I know my left hip tends to be the one that is an issue, which makes sense because that's like when I drive, that leg is normally underneath me. And then I have problems going all the way to the right. Like when I turn to the right, I have pain more so than when I turn to the left.
Okay. So you can see that your body is side bent to, you can see a curvature. So you can see I'm following the curvature of your spine. So you're curved to the left. Right. So if you're curved to the left, okay, then essentially your right side and neck muscles need to work harder, right? Okay. So what does that say about it? Just generally, like there's no such thing as perfect alignment. I'm not talking about alignment. I'm just saying like what muscles are potentially overactive, right? So if you're side bent to the left, the right neck muscles have to work hard to side bend to keep your eyes focused with the monitor, right? Okay.
Yeah.
It's one large kinetic chain. Like where's your neck tightness, right? If it's one-sided, potentially it's because you're sitting one-sided, right?
Right.
Okay. This could also be, do you have any hip tightness or low back tightness?
I get hip tightness, yeah. Typically, like in the back, like almost in the butt muscle.
Okay.
But yeah.
Which side, left or right?
Typically it's more on the left.
Okay. So generally people that sit like this, most of them are actually women, right? Because women are just more flexible. Men really don't like to sit like this. It's rare. But so ideally, a lot of times it's just habit and culture, because women are, it's kind of like bred into women's nature to like cross your legs, cross it under or cross it over, right? So that's part of it, is just culture. But when you're sitting in a chair that, let's say, is taller, it seems like this chair is pretty decently tall. That would your feet be able to reach the floor if it was straight out in front of you?
No, but there's a bar that they can rest on.
Gotcha.
Like
so
it's a taller bar stool type thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that might be one of the reasons why you're crossing your legs, is because your feet don't touch the floor. And then when your feet don't touch the floor, then it's like, then it feels uncomfortable, like your legs are just dangling. Nobody likes that. So you could put, I've seen people like do ghetto things, like put a dictionary on the floor so that your feet can touch it. That way you're sitting in a little bit better position. This seems like, how tall are you, Jordana?
5'2".
5'2", would you say that if you sat, like, would your, like, if your legs were straight out, like in good alignment, right? Would you be using the backrest at all?
If they're not, if they're touching the floor, but if they're on that like bar, like that footrest bar, yes.
Yeah. So see this, you know, the seat width or like the seat height. So like this is the seat height, right? This would be like the length and then the width, right? So the seat length is pretty long, right? Because it's not a normal desk chair. So the length of the chair is potentially wanting you to sit in this cross-legged position.
Right.
So I mean, it is not the worst thing to sit into good desk positions. Like for example, just get a legitimate desk chair. I don't know how long we're gonna be stuck in COVID, but I mean, if you tolerate it, it's fine. More important thing, I keep saying it again, it's like, it's the movement more than the ergonomics, right? Just move and you'll get relief. But yeah, this chair seems like, because you're 5'2", the seat length seems long for your legs. So therefore you're likely to like slouch away from your computer.
Yeah.
And so that might be an issue. That's why I say in like the dictionary. So like, for example, like a dictionary plus what I told Rebecca, which is you guys are both on the shorter end. I think Rebecca, I've known her for a while, so she's like 5'2", 5'3". So then you would put like that, that roll, like a yoga mat or a bath towel, put it at the small of your back, and that will also help too.
Okay.
Okay. Same issue with Rebecca, because laptops, I mean, they should really call it something different because it gets people in the habit of like put it on their lap, right? But so they're portable, but again, it's like when you can just see that like your head is slightly forward the entire time, and then your eyes are peering down, right?
Right.
Not only that, for anybody that's working on a laptop, like I said with my picture, is that my screen is I think 22 to 24 inches. Okay, very large screen, much brighter than my laptop. If you look here, I can zoom in and zoom out very easily. Okay, the screen's bright enough, and so even if you're on your laptop, it's not a bad thing to press like the control plus buttons. Oh, that only zooms out in the chat. Let's see. Hold on. Right, so you can see like the words get larger.
Right.
Right, so that's control plus. Make sure your screen's bright enough. Those are really important. But the desk position, like I'm not sure if you're willing to just wait it out, Jordana, and say like, oh, I'm going to be at my normal desk station eventually. But if you're having pretty bad neck pain, then you would want to get this elevated somehow or get like a monitor. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, biggest fish to fry though would probably be like if you didn't want to buy a chair, you didn't want to buy a monitor, I would say like put something on the floor or use that bar and put a towel on the small of your back. And then I think that should be your best setup.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Any questions?
No, that sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, so you have many options, but I would say like if you didn't want to buy anything, would be the bath towel and then put something on the floor. Then that way it should make it a little bit better. Okay, but keep up with your exercises that you learned. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Cool. Rhonda is not here, but I've actually known Rhonda for a little bit. So I'm just gonna look at Rhonda super fast, and then we could get her onto the recording later. And I think I have Kareem's and then Shauna's as well. Okay, so let's talk about it. And then Sherry's here. I'm not sure if Sherry, you sent a photo. If you guys have any questions, throw it straight into the chat, okay? Okay, so I just want to evaluate this. It's good to do this for everyone. So let's see. So Rhonda, I think Rhonda's pretty aware. I know Rhonda's in nursing school, I believe. And so I like the arm. The arm's not too extended. The chair actually looks pretty good. She's using the backrest, like at least the mid back is being supported. Pretty dark photo, so I can't see where the feet is. So this chair actually looks pretty good. This seems like an issue. So like if you have any eye issues, it seems like that screen's pretty dim. You might want to brighten that up. And then the same thing goes is that you want that monitor, like the top of the monitor, to always be in line with your eye, if not like 1 to 2 inches above. Okay. So if I go back to my photo, which I'll show you guys later, it's that it's always the same culprit. It's like either screen's like too dim, words are too small. If words are too small, you're likely to do this, right? and get your eyes really close to the computer. You have to squint. Okay. Research says that eye fatigue correlates extremely well with neck pain. Okay. Eyes are innervated by the cranial nerves. Cranial nerves connect to the neck. Okay. So it's really important that if your eyes are getting strained, that means your brainstem's getting fatigued, and therefore your neck starts to hurt. Okay. And then that's how it leads to like headaches too. So not much to say here besides everything looks pretty good. One thing is just the monitor seems pretty dim, and you could like elevate that monitor a little bit more. Maybe this laptop could be a little bit closer, but I can understand that that's a little bit an issue with that little piece right there, that elevation. So maybe a little bit more elevation and you're good to go. All right, Rhonda? Okay, so I think we have, Corrine, you posted in one of my posts. So I'm gonna post it right here. So Corrine, where are you at? Are you still here? Can you turn your video? And unmute yourself. You still here?
Yes.
All right, cool. Okay, so this doesn't seem like a normal workstation setup. Is this where you usually do your work or on your laptop?
Yes, for now.
Okay. Okay. Do you have other places in your house that you have like an office or anything at all like that?
I don't work there, but yeah, this is basically where I've been.
Do you still work?
No.
Okay. So you're just on laptop for leisure and research.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, there's definitely a good amount of things. Korean, how tall are you?
5.
5. Okay.
6.
Okay. So there's quite a few things that you can change here. Okay. Not to knock on it. Okay. But I'm just gonna let you know a few things. Okay. Because there's a couple things. Like one, your hand is rested like right on the edge, right? You can see that like none of your forearm touches the desk. Okay. So, and not only that is because you are a little bit shorter, that this desk seems pretty high for you. Okay. So just to go back to, where was it? So when I go back to mine is not extremely ideal. I'm not saying mine is perfect at all, but you can see that like at least 3 to 4 inches of my arm is rested against the desk. That's going to lead to less shoulder fatigue.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And you can see that I'm using the backrest, and then compared to, oh, did your picture go there? There it is. Right. So you're an edge of seat seater, right? So you're not using the backrest at all. So you would have to compensate by putting some sort of yoga mat or something here, right? And then scoot your butt back, if you can, scoot your butt back, put a roll right here, or like a bath towel or something, and then like lean back, right? But that's going to be tough because now you can see that your knees are touching the edge of the seat because you're shorter. So it's possible that like, yeah, you're going to have to make some modifications. Like the biggest thing I would say is that this chair
just
seems.
scoot my whole computer forward and scoot my chair in further.
So you could do that. That would be one modification you can make. You could scoot that chair way forward and then have your forearms rested on the table, right? That would be the best modification without buying anything. Okay. So you would scoot that chair in like, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches. You want your knees underneath the table, like your thighs underneath the table. And then you want your forearms rested on the table. Okay. And then that way, and then after that, once you make those modifications, I would probably have a bath towel wherever you sit, and I would use that bath towel so I can lean back and I can rest my back, right? Because otherwise these muscles right here, the spine and the lower back, is just working the entire time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I know when I go to performances, I usually roll up my jacket and put it, the small of my back.
there you go. So it wouldn't be any different for home use. Get your thickest yoga mat or get your thickest jacket or some sort. Put it on your back.
Okay.
Okay. Now that's the modification without anything. If you really wanted yourself to feel better, most likely it would be that you would lower the desk in some way, and you would actually get a legitimate chair that's specific to your height. Right? So you would test out chairs eventually at Costco and stuff, and you would you see how long the seat length. This is a really long, like this is really long. This is much longer than any of my chairs. The seat length is really long. So that spells that you're, if you lean back and you scoot your butt back, your legs are going to be off the floor, right? So you would want something with the seat length is less, right? Ideally something with armrests. So like armrests, and then the seat length should be much less. Okay. Okay. Those would be modifications. So you can, if you're going to be here for a while, for a few years, and using your laptop consistently, probably get a chair that's more fitted to your height. But if you didn't want to buy anything, then put the towel, okay, scoot your chair in, and then rest your arms against the table.
I actually have an office. I just don't use it.
Oh, you totally should then. Oh, then you could have posted your picture of the office too, if you wanted to. Yeah, but if you wanted to post that picture later, I could definitely make some comments on it. It's not gonna be a coaching call. You could post that picture into the group, and I'll still throw in some comments. I'll write some stuff to you. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Green. Take care.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. Let's see. Who else do I have? Shaz, he just posted this like 5 minutes ago. All right. So
I'm sorry.
no worries. I can tell. It's like, oh, this girl is like sweating in her chair. It's like she worked hard at her
Middle
desk.
of my kickboxing.
I was working out.
I can hear you.
I can definitely hear you. I can always hear Derek's voice. It's like the deepest voice in the world. Hello. All right. So here's the setup. Okay. So this is like kind of like a pogo chair with no backrest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's mostly for like leaning on, kind of. So the top of it kind of like moves.
Okay. I was going to say, does the seat, does it just stay parallel to the floor, or can you like tilt it forward and back?
You can tilt it forward and back.
That's cool. That's good. So,
Yeah.
so I say that's not a bad thing. Like I've been a big fan of like saddle chairs. Like it's legitimately a saddle with wheels, and like the saddle, it actually pushes your butt forward. So when it pushes your butt forward, it keeps you more in extension. If you want me to explain that a little bit more, it's mainly like if I sit on a saddle, it's gonna push my hips forward like this, and I'm gonna sit up a little bit straighter. So that way, if I sit up straighter, you can see what happens. My neck goes backwards, right? When my lower back arches. So you want to keep your lower back in extension, but you don't want those muscles turned on the entire time. You don't have low back pain, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is this your normal setup right now?
Yeah, so it's actually an uplift desk, so it can go up and down.
I see that.
So yeah, so I can, that's my setup right now. I also will sometimes like work from my couch, just depending. But yeah, I go between like standing and sitting
Okay.
at this desk mostly.
Okay. Yeah, so couch is not always the most optimal. It's like when you're just resting and chilling and watching Netflix, doing stuff that's more leisurely, I would take the laptop to the couch. If it was like strictly for work and productivity, I wouldn't take it to the couch. Because you just never know how long you're going to be productive, and you might be on the couch for 3 hours, right? Slouching for a good amount of time. Okay.
Yeah.
So I like this setup. I would say just the modifications I would make is still movement trumps ergonomics every single time. So I would, every 1 to 2 hours you're feeling achy, I would do my shoulder exercises, my neck stuff. You just think movement always trumps ergonomics. But with this being said, like this, I like this setup. I tilt that chair a little bit forward. I think it's forward. I can't really tell.
It is.
Yeah. Cool. Keep it that way. I would say every 1 to 2 hours, just have a notification on your screen, just blinking at you and saying stand or sit.
Okay.
Just frequent change of position. That's a good thing. Or old school. I mean, well, I know Derek's pretty tech savvy, but sticky notes, right? Sticky notes.
Oh, I am the sticky note queen.
There you go. Okay, so sticky
You
note.
can see the big stack right next to my computer right there.
There you go. So sticky notes. Oh yeah, I see it. There you go. So every hour is if you're having like pretty bad pain or a headache, I would sit and stand every hour. if you're starting to notice that you're feeling better, your symptoms aren't as bad, I'd say every couple hours.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty good about like moving my legs, and I even have like a wobble board for my feet.
Great.
I think it's just like my shoulders and my neck that I'm not as good at, moving
Yeah.
regular basis.
Yeah. So this is the same thing goes for a good amount of you guys that have shown me like your laptop. So none of you guys have monitors, right? So that's one thing. Okay. I mean, Rebecca literally left because she said that she was going to buy a monitor now, right? So it's always about eye level, right? Like if the screen's dim, one, if the screen's dim, one, if the words are very small, right? That's going to push you and put your head into this position because you have to squint. Okay. Like I said, eye fatigue is very correlated with neck fatigue and neck strain. So you want this monitor to ideally be like at the eye level, like I was saying with everyone else. Okay. Slight forward head position, right? So I don't care too much about forward head position. A lot of arm extension. So you can see that your shoulder is in about, let's say 60 degrees of shoulder flexion the entire time. So you're basically like this the entire time. Okay. Versus you want to be thinking about, so this is great for you because I think that's why your shoulder gets so, your neck is so fatigued. Your shoulder's always like this. Like just, if you were to do this for an hour, your shoulders would get tired, but then your neck would start to strain.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing too, like with boxing and stuff, I always bring my shoulders in. So that's, something that I have to work on a lot.
Yeah. So this here is where I would say the desk should probably be a little bit lower. You should be a little bit closer. Okay. And then the monitor, you would get a monitor or something that can elevate a screen. So that would be like buy some sort of Facebook Marketplace monitor, or have Derek look for a really nice monitor.
He's really excited right now, actually. He's like, yeah, monitor.
Yeah, let's do it. Yep. I mean, I got my monitor for free from my wife's cousin, and it's a really, really, really good monitor. I use it. So so just to compare, I don't mean to always say that mine's is perfect at all, but so I have some sticky notes like you. Okay, my ghetto Nike box right there. It still works. So you can see eye level. My neck is directly on top of the rest of my spine. Okay, it's not forward head at all. You can see my arms are basically like 20 degrees of flexion, right? So much less load on my shoulders. Like mine are down here, like T-Rex arms. I call it T-Rex arms. Like you should do T-Rex arms. Your elbows should be flexed. Okay, your elbows should be flexed. If they're out here the entire time, it's going to fatigue your scapula. It's going to fatigue the neck too. Okay. I told Corrine though that like, yeah, your arm should be rested, at least 4 to 5 inches. So like your shoulders are just resting on the desk. I think yours is resting on the desk, but probably not enough, right? Because it's just like you're using just that corner piece. Okay. So yeah, a couple modifications, right? I would think the biggest things for you are probably T-Rex arms. So like elbows just closer to your body, like short arms, right? Think short arms. Okay. And then the monitor. Yeah, I would say get a monitor for sure.
Yeah. I think I can actually get one from my school district. So that's just something I need to ask
There you
him.
go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I live in the land of Microsoft. They've got computer stuff all over the place.
Cool. And then right behind you, so right behind you, you have that floor. You have a lot of different places to stretch, right? I mean, especially take advantage of like that rotating chair. I would step away from the chair, do my shoulder exercises. I'd rotate the chair back and forth so that it gets my lower back and my thoracic spine moving. Okay, I would take advantage of that rotating chair once in a while. Yeah, there's a decent amount of modifications you can make, but I'll say it again: movement trumps ergonomics all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Yep. Any questions?
Nope, I think that's good.
Cool.
Sorry for my entry.
No, don't worry. Derek's excited about the monitor.
Oh yeah.
There. Awesome. Hello. That's my cousin, by the way, guys. That's my first cousin. He's like 9 inches taller than me. All right. Okay, so I think Sherry. Oh, so we have Sherry and Wendy. Oh, some really late ones. Oh, you guys are bad. I'm just kidding. All right, let's bring in who came in first. All right, let's bring in Sherry. Okay. Sherry, where you at? Hello. Hey, what's going on? So this is your workstation at work.
Great, but I guess at home I'm usually just sitting on my bed with the laptop on my lap. But then if I'm running around and I have to respond to a customer real quick, I'll just be something like this.
Okay. So you don't have a desk at home?
I pretty much live at the bakery.
Gotcha. How many hours are you on the laptop at home?
Maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3? Do you feel more pain, or like do you feel pain when you're working with your laptop?
I'm always in pain.
You're always in pain. Okay. Are you in more pain at the bed, or are you more pain in this position right here?
I don't know. I don't think I really pay attention because I'm usually go, go, go. Like I just need to send out the email and then I'm on to my next thing.
Gotcha. Are you always on the go? Like you seem like you've been in and out, like. So this is just before we even go into your ergonomics. I think part of it is lifestyle. So like when it's COVID and you're stressed out, and you got to think about these are called biopsychosocial factors. So bio is the stuff that I'm really, 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 really good at because I understand the muscles, the joints, the spine, all that. Okay, those are the biological factors. If you've been doing your exercises, hopefully, you know I understand not everyone gets pain relief within 5 days, but we're trying to get you on the right track, right? Okay, so bio that's biological. Psycho and social is basically like if your boyfriend dumped you, right? Then that weighs into your pain. Or like the psychological factors are like if you're stressed, if you're always on the move, if you have no time to breathe, right? Those are other things that you might want to program 5 to 10 minute breaks on your own, just to like rest and like close people out. If you, I know you're laughing at me because you're like, I can't do that, but like 5 minute break, right? Can be the difference between you having like a lot of chronic pain years down the road and you not, right? Like you program little breaks into your life. That's what I'm learning a little bit about you. Like I think you're always on the move, always doing emails. If not emails, then you're always like on your feet, like cooking or like baking and those kind of things. So you might need to just like more so like program those breaks in, right? So you could stretch and de-stress. But that would be what I would address first, right? When it comes to the ergonomics, how tall are you?
5'5".
5'5". Gotcha. Cool. So 5'5" is pretty tall. So like if you scooted your butt all the way back, would you be able to reach the floor?
Let me try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, 5'5", taller than the average Asian girl. So what I would do is some pretty easy stuff. So I was telling other people you should buy a monitor, and at your work you can't do that. So don't worry about that. The things I would try to do is scoot your butt. Like I say, scoot your butt so that like your crease of your butt is almost at the 90-degree angle of the seat. Okay. And then basically those are the easy fixes. So you bring that chair in, you scoot your chair in as far as you can so that you're into that T-Rex position. Okay. And then you would scoot your butt all the way back. Okay. Especially if you're pretty tall, you should be able to scoot your butt all the way back, still be able to touch the floor, scoot that chair at least a foot forward, right? And then have your eyes and everything just closer to the screen. If possible, how's your laptop? Is it like, does it die fast, or like, are you always worried about battery life?
It's okay.
It's fine. Okay. I was wondering how bright your screen is. Like, how is that bright in this picture, or does it just look dim?
It's usually pretty bright.
Okay, cool. And then you're able to see everything without squinting or without straining your eyes? Yeah. Okay, then I wouldn't be worried about that stuff. So big fixes are just that chair should be way far forward and that you should scoot your butt all the way back. Okay. If you ever have a jacket, where you live in LA, I don't know how the weather is there. It's cold, hot?
Hot right now.
It's hot right now? Do you bring a jacket, or you just go to work with a t-shirt?
I have a jacket.
Okay. If it's a thick jacket, I would roll up that jacket nicely so it doesn't get crinkled up and messed up. But I would put that jacket right here once in a while, especially if you're feeling soreness. it's not a bad thing. Like that jacket against your back gives you like good feedback, and it tells you to kind of like sit up taller, and you can actually bend backwards over your jacket or backwards over the seat, right?
Would the jacket be like as thick as the foam roller that you recommended us buying?
Yeah, so jacket, foam roller. Foam rolls, like I used to tell people to put a foam roll there. Ideally, like that's pretty hard. So I tell people like bath towels or jackets, those aren't bad things to do, because when you can, where's my seat? Oh, so when you can have like a chair like this, right? So you want your butt all the way back, right? Not edge of seat like this, and then you're like curled in. Bring your butt all the way back. And then if it doesn't feel comfortable and you have to like lean forward, you can always put like a towel right there, because that towel generally like feels pretty good. Like I can sit up tall. And then when I want to pull away from the computer, you got to get that stretch break in, right? So quick rotation stretches like this, and then backwards. Okay. Very fast. Like Sherry, I bet like if you're always on the go, you need quick pain relief stuff, right? Is that's probably what you need, like quick pain relief tools. So rotate, bend backwards, yawn, chin tuck, get back to work, right? And that took 15 seconds. And I feel better already just doing that. Like 15, you probably need 15, 30-second, build your own too. Don't just look at mine and look at this recording, but build your own routine that feels really good within 30 seconds. But you can apply, I think you can afford 30-second little spurts, or like even 15-second spurts like I just did. And now like my low back actually feels a little better. My upper back feels better because I cracked it. So these are probably what you need, especially if you're on the go all the time, right? Cool. Okay, questions about that?
Well, because the last call you said to stretch like forward, like to hunch, but then right now when you're stretching, it's more like back. Like, is there another stretch that I should do in those like little 15, 30-second spurts?
Yeah, so yours would probably be like that rotation. Do you want me to show you again?
No,
Like go
well,
through
that's the one that you just did.
So I would do like that rotation stretch. Like those always feel really good because we're just sitting still. Our body craves like rotation because we don't rotate enough. So rotate that spine, okay? I would bend backwards over the chair a few times just to stretch out the shoulders, like just a few times. And I could do the chin tuck at the same time. And then like, yeah, if between your shoulder blades, the areas between your spine, if that's still stiff, then I would just knock out a few like this, just pour out the barrel 2 times, pour out the barrel this time, and then good to go. And that still takes 15 to 30 seconds, right?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Movement trumps ergonomics. So just keep saying that in your head. The other factors, like, I know you're on the move. Like you seem like you're on the move more than a lot of people.
Yeah, I can bring it out too. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. So, yep. Good to go. All right. Cool. Sherry Bounce, she's always on the move. Okay. All right. So I think
Okay, sorry.
you're back. Okay. Yeah. So you need especially for you, you probably need little 15 to 30-second spritz of pain relief. Okay. And scoot that chair in and make sure you address your stresses. Like you got to de-stress once in a while. I don't know if you are stressed. Maybe I'm just assuming just because you seem like you're always on the move. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Okay.
Okay, you're okay. You put on a smile, but I hopefully like, yeah, you're always on the move. So I know that can be stressful. I know how that feels like. So program that in somehow, like program in like a 5 minutes just to yourself in some way, or maybe it's just at the end of the day at least. Okay. I call it post mobility. So I'm not going over ergonomics right now, but whenever I used to work at a clinic and I had to work with like athletes all the time and demonstrate exercises, my body would be very sore. The first thing that I do when I first put the key through the door is I do mobility. I get on the floor and start stretching. 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. You're good. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. All right. Lastly, I think we have no other late ones except Wendy. Where is Wendy? Wendy, you still here?
Yeah.
What is up?
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Good.
Good. How are you How you been feeling? It's day 3. How are you feeling?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're still feeling a little sore?
Um, when I started, whatever pain I had has been like resolving on its own because it's been a while. So I actually feel okay. I just feel like in the mornings when I wake up, I'm fine. But by the end of the day, like right now, like, oh, my lower back's hurting a little bit. Like I'm trying to stretch it out and like do those movements you said. Um, but I think it's just because like, oh, I've been sitting all day or I've been in a stiff posture all day and I haven't gotten up. Like, in all honesty, I haven't done exercises right now today yet. I
Uh-huh.
usually do them at the end of the day if I can,
Right.
or
Right.
if in between, if I remember, then I'll do it. But yeah.
Okay. So what you just told me is like, yeah, the fact is like you're sitting still the entire time, but then you're almost waiting or you're hoping that that like your movement at the end of the day is going to be like your savior, right? Like you're
Yeah.
like you're just hoping like, okay, my little 5 minutes at the end of the day is going to make me feel that like better, like it's going to reset me completely, right? 5 minutes of like 5 to 10 minutes of stretching versus 8 to 10 hours of sitting, like which one wins, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's just habits, right? These habits are not built into us, so we need to learn the principles and make it a habit. Okay. There's no way around it. Some people, like I have clients. I had this one client. I don't have to say her name. So she joined our program. She's one of our clients now, and she started doing the exercise because she had severe low back pain. And she then asked, I was like, feel free to ask me questions anytime because I'm here for you. I make sure to get results. And her first question that she threw out at me was, do I have to exercise and stretch forever? Right. And then I kind of just, I laughed in my head, right? But I was like, well, absolutely, because it's a way of life. Like, do you want to be stiff as a board when you're older? And do you want to be subjected to a wheelchair when you're older, right? I kind of like just asked her that like straight up. I said, no. It's like, well, then these things are important that you not just think every day I'm going to sit for 8 to 10 hours and then I'm just going to try to get my body to feel amazing within 5 to 10 minutes. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be 16 hours, then 10 minutes of stretching. Then it's going to be 24 hours of sitting. Then it's going to be 30 minutes of stretching. You see how that works? So it's an accumulation of sitting down and not moving, and it's never going to be outweighed by 5 to 10 minutes of stretching, right? Right. You're better off like eventually when COVID ends, like to start playing basketball again, because that's an hour of movement, right? Okay. So yeah, let's go into this though. So let's talk about the ergo, but we're going to go over more than just ergo tomorrow, actually like Friday. So when a Friday graduation workshop hits, there's some really key strategies that you're going to want to learn. All right, Wendy?
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about this. So this table is like a French coffee table. Okay. It is not a real desk table. Okay. So that's one thing. Okay. Because you don't have a lot of room to operate at all. Right. So like your mouse is really close, your chair is right at your coffee cup, your Lego coffee cup's right at the edge, and in the screen. And you kind of had the same thing as Rebecca. Rebecca left early to actually buy a monitor. She was like, I'm excited, I'm gonna do this. So same thing goes, like the same things we've been saying with everyone, the monitor hype, okay? So you want a monitor that is eye level, right? Because if it's more eye level, you can shift your whole body back and just look at the screen like this. You don't have to like lean down and look at the laptop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we could put these, I don't know if we could put these side by side, because I guess I'm always gonna just compare. Okay, let's see if we can do this. All right, you guys can see both screens, right? Okay, so definitely different things, right? Because you're lean forward, it's all science, right? If I lean forward, I have to turn on my low back muscles, my butt muscles, and I have to turn on those muscles in order to stay balanced, right? Same thing goes that if I lean back a lot, right? I have to use my quads and I have to use my abs and I have to use forward muscles in order to keep myself forward. Okay, that's important because it's a plumb line, right? The plumb line means that if you drew one line from the top of my head through my earphones, through my shoulders, right, down to my lower back, it should be a pretty straight line, right? It should be like a 90 degree, like straight up, right? But yours is what, 25, 30 degrees angled forward the entire time.
Mhm.
And you said this is normal posture, right?
I would assume so. Honestly, I sit in all types of position. I can't sit still. And
Okay.
I think potentially it's because like obviously like I don't have like a work setup yet.
Mhm.
I mean to. There's a desk in the back in my brother's room, the empty room.
Right.
But yeah, as of right now, like I sit kind of like I think it was Rebecca in one of her pictures because I was looking through.
Mhm.
She was sitting cross-legged. Like half the time I'm cross-legged, half the time both my legs are like elevated up somehow, some way,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
the other times I'm sitting normally.
Gotcha. Can you study in the kitchen? Is there like a tall countertop?
So normally, if I could, I would sit outside in the dining room table, kind of like how Corinne had her set up.
Mhm.
I don't think the chair is as long, but I do feel like I'm more leveled up versus like tilted all the way down.
Mhm.
But because of meetings and seeing clients through teletherapy, I can't sit outside because it's too loud. So I have to be in my room. That's why I have this like makeshift setup right now.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your small table does not allow, like for Rebecca, she's buying a monitor, right? She's the one that says like, I'm leaving early, I'm buying a monitor.
Mhm.
And it's the reason being is because when you look at the picture, my screen, I never use my own laptop screen. I always plug it in through a HDMI cord, and so that like the entire screen is much larger, brighter, okay? And then my eyes, right? It's level with the top of the monitor, okay? So yeah, you can see that the angle's forward. If you've been here, if you've been here the entire coaching call, just a lot of the different setups that we talked about, like Jordana, I told her you could put a towel at the small of your back, so it kind of pushes you forward more. Okay. And so when you put that towel there, it allows your back to rest. Like most likely, you put a towel right where the middle of your the middle of your back is. It'll probably decrease some low back stress. You probably won't feel that bad. Okay. There's a decent amount of modifications that you can make. If you're saying I'm not going to buy anything and not going to modify much about this, like not going to buy anything, you should probably put that towel there at the small of your back.
Mhm.
Okay. And then just try to lean back. Just try to lean backwards over that towel and make sure that you're stretching out that back. Okay. If you remember how I explained the importance of extension, right? So like cervical extension, like cervical retraction, upper back stretching, and then lower back. This is all extension movements, right? Okay.
Mhm.
You can see that you're flexed the entire time, right? So you're flexed the entire time. That means your extensors, all these muscles are working the entire time for 8 to 10 hours straight. Okay. Hence probably why low back feels a little tired right now, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, a lot of things to think about. I don't know how your brother's desk is, but ideally, like a desk would be better than your like small coffee table here.
Yeah, hopefully I can get that cleaned out in the next week or two because it is a office desk, so at least that would be more leveled.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Office desk. Go to your church. Ask somebody if they have a monitor that you can have or borrow. Right, so that way your eyes, you don't have to look down the entire time. You can look up. Okay. Monitors are like a godsend, right? That's why, because monitors are just much bigger. You can put more on the screen. You can sit back because the screen's brighter and everything. Yeah, but like words are small on a laptop, right? And
Yeah.
words are much larger on this 24-inch screen that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Okay, less eye strain, a lot of different things. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're using a dining room chair. So if you have a rolling chair, do you have one?
I don't think we have an extra one. We do have like an actual desktop outside, but usually my parents are using that. So that's why my best bet is to clear out my brother's. But even then, I don't think we have an extra chair as of now. We might, I
Okay.
think we're trying to get set up in that one to make a second office.
Okay. Yep. Chairs, rolling chairs are good because you can just roll it around. You can turn your pelvis side to side. What happens when you turn your pelvis side to side? It gets that low back moving. Okay. So you don't even have to leave your chair. You could just rotate, right? I'm always leaving my chair every 2 hours. I'm like Shanna. I have the sit stand desk frame, so I'm standing right now. Okay. So it's much better. Yeah, like standing desk frame. Well, I got this. This is, I forgot how much this desk was. It was like 1,000, I think. So sit
Like
stand desk frame.
maybe it's adjustable.
Yeah, if you look at my desk right here, it's on these things can adjust. I can do it right now. I'm elevating. Right?
Okay.
Yep. This thing goes really high. Like it's my screen's all the way up here now. I can lower it. Okay. So that's, I mean, that your comfort comes at a cost, right? More comfortable couches cost more comfortable desks cost more, chairs cost more. Okay. You might, at best, you can't fit a monitor here, so I would maybe get like a $50 monitor or ask for one monitor and put that towel in the small of your back would be your best bet.
Okay.
Okay, you're pretty good with the T-Rex arms that I told Shanna about. Like your T-Rex arms are already there, but leaning forward the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Questions about this?
Nope, makes sense.
All right, you gonna be at the grad workshop?
I should be.
Okay, gotcha. I'm looking at the Zoom people. Okay, cool. Awesome, Wendy.
Thank you.
So, yep, no problem. So we will close this out. I think that we are good to go with all the Ergo setups. So I think we have a few people registered, but definitely if you guys go to the events tab, where's the events tab? Okay, you guys go to the events tab. Okay, make sure to register for the Thursday and Friday workshops. Okay, really important because these workshops are really important. I know some of you guys are really consistent with being here, so consistency is key, whether it's attending the coaching calls or actually consistently doing your exercises. Okay, so that's it. Do you guys have any further questions? I'm gonna stop sharing right now. If you guys have no further questions, Sherry, Jordana, Shanna, Wendy, throw me an X in the comments and then we can end this. Some X's, X, 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 X. Yep. Cool, no problem. Privileged to serve you guys, okay? Let's keep pushing forward. We are gaining some momentum, regardless if you're having pain or no pain. Like you guys just gotta be consistent. It's not an easy road sometimes when it comes to chronic issues. So stay the course even after Friday. If you're still having pain, you gotta stay the course because I'm telling everyone these are the absolute truths that you need to, help give you a better quality of life, better mobile, energetic, pain-free quality of life too. Okay, take care, guys. Have a good one.